Welcome to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The political developments that are taking place today are really worrying because after the whistleblower who came up with those revelations that Raila won the August polls, the Azimio One Kenya Alliance is coming with some shocking and tough demands that, if you ask me, are only meant to push William Ruto to the wall. Raila is in South Africa, and his very loud silence is deafening, and it is really worrying William Ruto and his brigades. The Azimio team is saying that based on the results that were released, Raila won with 8 million and William Ruto was second with 5 million. So they are telling William Ruto that he should vacate office with immediate effect so that Raila can take his rightful ownership of governance. Let us speak the reality in this channel. You know very well that this is a demand that William Ruto can never accept. Right now, William Ruto, whether legitimate or illegitimate, is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. If you have followed the politics in Africa, when someone rigs an election or when there is some controversy around an election, they will always run very fast to take oath of office and hold that sword, so that when people are demonstrating and maybe people are negotiating, the status quo remains as they negotiate. So one negotiates as a president, the other will remain a complainant. In 2007, this is what the former president Mwai Kibaki did. He knew very well that he had taken power illegally. So what he did was to rush very fast, and he was sworn in by Mwangi Gisheru, who was the then Chief Justice. He knew very well that after taking oath of office and he formed some part of the cabinet, people were going to the streets, and when the international community now came to force them to talk with Raila Odinga, he was negotiating as a president. You know, when you negotiate as a president, there are some privileges that you have over the person who is complaining, because we've got a full office with a secretariat, security, that's what, everything. So for the Azimio fraternity to tell William Ruto to vacate office, maybe this is a coded language, because I don't think William Ruto can just vacate office. And the people who help to negotiate such powers, the international community, are on Ruto's side. So I honestly want to submit that I don't know why they are making this demand. Number two, they are saying that we must have a holistic audit of the last polls. All the servers must be opened so that we can look at them. This was one of the demands that was declined by the Supreme Court. And even the little that they gave, whatever came out as a result, the Supreme Court claims that all the Form 34As that were in the server matched with the Form 34As that the hard copies. And they are revisiting this demand again, that the servers must be opened. The deputy leader, Martha Karua, was saying that there is a company that wrote a letter giving reasons why they could not just open the server, but they contracted another company which came up with counter-checked what is in the server, and they're saying that this is what gave them their victory. So they want a holistic review and audit. I don't think William Ruto will accept this, because for this to happen, I don't know, someone can educate me, but I think one has to go to court so that the court can order. You don't just, you can't just force the IEBC to do this. And you know our courts, I always say that the courts and the executive are twin brothers. Madam Martha Koome and William Ruto are enjoying some cordial relationships, and you know that they will not accept this. The other demand that they are giving is that William Ruto must reinstate the Cherera 4, the dissenting commissioners, the Juliana Cherera, Irene Masit, Justice Wanderi, and Francis Wanderi, and Justice Nyang'aya. Another demand that is very, very ridiculous, because plans are advanced stages. Masit, Wanderi, and Nyang'ai have already resigned. I think it is only Irene Masit that is trying to pursue the other way. Is facing that commission, but Juliana, Wanderi, and Nyang'ai have resigned. So for the Azimio to come up with another demand that they be reinstated, I just don't know what they want, but this is one of their demands, and they're saying that these are irreducible minimums, and they are calling upon the DPP to open charges against Wafula Chebukati, who is the chairman of the IEBC, Boya Molu, and Abdi Gulie, the commissioners who have resigned, because they say these are the people who are at the height of election malpractices. How realistic this is going to happen, I don't know, because the DPP is now an agent of the current government. Instead of prosecuting, he has been abandoning all the charges against those who are in good terms with the Kenya Kwanza team. So I just don't know what they want, and they want William Ruto to move in with speed and form a commission of inquiry into what exactly transpired in Bomas, because there are two schools of thought. The gospel, according to St. William Ruto and St. Wafula Chebukati, claims that there were plans to kidnap Wafula Chebukati and kill him, maybe throw him in River Yala. But another gospel, according to St. Raila Odinga, says from chapter 1 to the last chapter that they won fair and square, but Wafula Chebukati had been taken hostage, and they had planned long before the D-Day that William Ruto was going to be installed as the president of Kenya. Backed by claims that William Ruto was making, they are saying that as the number one citizen, William Ruto cannot just come up with claims. He must form a commission of inquiry to convince Kenyans to back up his claims, because they are saying that the claims are just reckless if they are not backed up by any other sufficient evidence. So they are saying these are irreducible minimums, and they're saying that if it is not going to happen the way they want, then they will have to go to the streets, because they say there is freedom of picketing, and this is one of the tools that has been used in Kenya from time immemorial. In 1980s and 90s, when people were fighting to kick out, to remove the one-party state, and they were fighting Nyayo during the Nyayo era, people had to go to the streets. In fact, at some point, Ngunyi Mutahi did an article in Nation. Back then, Ngunyi Mutahi was writing in Nation, a newspaper, and he said that sometimes for freedom to be achieved, people have to break the laws, because you want to go and demonstrate, to conduct peaceful demonstrations, but you are told that your meeting is outlawed. So you have to go and hold demonstrations when the police have outlawed these meetings. And so you might see demonstrations going on. It started yesterday in what many people say that was just a benchmarking a foundation just to show people how it is going to be done. Those who are there say that it was lethal because they were chanting Ruto must go, they were chanting Unga, and they were chanting who killed Musando. So I've got a feeling that the Azimio fraternity are laying down their foundation to start going to the streets just to make life very difficult for William Samoei Ruto. It is also understood that when Raila comes back, there is a possibility that he's going to be sworn in Kamkunji, forms a parallel cabinet, and then they want to write to do a letter to the UN body so that they can secede. Another debate that is really going to elicit a lot of emotions, because the Azimio is saying that if William Ruto cannot vacate office and he believes that he won, then let him remain with those who voted for him, and those who voted for the counties that voted for Raila Odinga should merge so that they swear their allegiance to Raila, so Raila they can be their leader. So we are looking at how things are going to transpire, but things are not easy. The only saving grace will be the international community, because I know when they come up and they start fixing things, Raila will cede grounds. He has done that before. If this time is going to stand firm, I don't know. It is something that we wait and see. But if he does, then I'm telling you there is going to be a huge difference. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. Do you think the demands are realistic? And what do you think they want to achieve? Please share with me in the comment section.